Welcome back to another exciting episode of Fresh Ink. I'm joined with Adam Johnson, Zach Halalapaba.
Nice.
It's Finnish for fish out of water.
Absolutely.
And we're here for the quarter one stock report for NFL signatures. We're going to be talking the rise and fall of who's hot and who's not.
Yeah, a lot of rookies come onto the scene. A lot of guys we didn't expect. A lot of rookies who haven't shown up yet. High value items in the beginning that we're still waiting to see that production produce.
And a few veterans on multiple clearance racks.
Yes, one guy. I think we're all thinking about the same guy. Three jerseys on one clearance rack. Currently a free agent. I think we can all figure out.
Been a rough time for him.
Clowntonio.
Yeah, now he's enrolled at CMU.
Hey, that's good for him.
My home state.
Gotta get educated.
Educated.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kick it off with Adam Johnson here. What do you think?
Yeah, the one guy that obviously stands out to me for many reasons, and you don't see a lot of his memorabilia because I don't think anyone would have anticipated his rise this quickly, if at all, is Gardner Minshew from the Jaguars.
Yeah, big time.
We know as far as selling memorabilia, there's not a lot of Jaguar stuff out there, period, for anybody. So a Gardner Minshew is an item that I think anyone would want in their collection right now just because he's kind of built himself into such a legend. But not only that, he's played phenomenal on the field. He's pretty much kept the team in every game, took over for Nick Foles, and is doing a great job. And I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. So Gardner Minshew is the rise of my rising rookie. I think you're going to see him pop up here in the next couple months. Someone's going to latch on to him and do a nice little signing here and see those pieces start popping up.
Absolutely.
Inscription?
It's not going to take long at all.
Oh,
man. Yeah, we're going to see hilarious inscriptions.
I don't even
jock
know.
straps and headbands?
It's going to be it's going to be like Rockstar.
You could just hand him the pen and say, give me, 3 words, and it would be great every time.
Write what's ever in your
golden.
mind.
That's exactly
that's dangerous.
That's a dangerous.
I don't know if I trust him with doing that.
So who's on the rise in your book, Zach?
There are a lot of rookie quarterbacks right now that are actually playing pretty well. Kyle Allen actually looked pretty decent for Carolina.
Not a rookie. But doesn't have to be.
No, okay.
Rookish.
Yeah,
rookie-ish. But no,
beat out Will Greer though, who is a rookie.
Yes,
so
he did. He did beat out Will, but he's looking better than Cam already in one. It's one game. I know it's quick.
Cardinals too.
Yeah, and it is Arizona, but I don't know. He's looking good. Daniel Jones in his first game, just was. He killed it.
Yeah.
Just absolutely killed it, and I didn't know how he'd be with that one snap he had where he had like a Mark Sanchez-esque like butt fumble type of play, and I thought he might have been a bust, and he's kind of showing up to play. Mason Rudolph didn't do terrible for the Steelers. There's a lot of rookie quarterbacks just actually getting an opportunity, or young quarterbacks, I should say, getting the opportunity to take the reins and aren't completely blowing it.
I like my sleeper. You can't really say he's rising or falling, but I think he's going to rise here in a little bit. It's Ryan Finley from the Bengals. I think Andy Dalton's actually having a pretty good year, but that team is kind of in limbo, similar to how Eli Manning was. I think they throw Finley in there just for the last 8 games of the season. See what they have going forward. They're going to have a top 3 pick, so they're going to be on the clock for Tua or Herbert from Oregon. So they'll land somebody, but I think Finley's going to get a shot, and he looked awesome in preseason.
Well, and they were talking about him in the offseason, I believe, talking about maybe just moving on from Andy Dalton altogether without even letting him play because he was looking good in all the offseason workouts, the preseason stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him.
Can there be a Bengals team without Andy Dalton?
Oh, it's another redheaded quarterback. So I
guess that fits well.
Yeah, no,
so,
they should just put that on the helmet.
Carson Palmer is somewhat of a redhead. He was very blonde. He was.
That's
kind of their identity is that light-haired redheaded quarterback.
They should probably just change their logo.
On an orange team, I think they're onto something here.
I'm jumping on the Daniel Jones bandwagon. Just currently, I think New York, being someone who worked in New York in the media relations game with the Mets and having to have guys like Michael Kay in your ear every day, they've just been through a rough. They've had they had a good run with Eli, and when it went bad real quick. Talking about falling stock and rising at the same time, but Daniel Jones. It's just new. It's a clean slate. It's the ability to get some of your playmakers, which a day late and a dollar short if you look at a guy like OBJ who's now in Cleveland. But you should have been able to forecast that Eli was on a downward slope. Let's do anything we can to keep our talent. We have Saquon Barkley. Why don't we keep our number one receiver for a rookie quarterback who's going to come in and have a chance?
They actually had offensive weapons and still do with Sterling Sharp and Evan Ingram, and having OBJ. That just made no sense to me. Allowing that to play out the way it did. Eli was on a downslope for how many years now?
Yeah.
He's not been an elite quarterback. And when you have that elite talent, you need to have someone that can actually throw him the ball.
And as a person, I don't hate Eli Manning at all, but the fact that he has 2 Super Bowls blows my mind.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco has one too.
I mean, that's an anomaly.
I mean, that gives me hope as a Bears fan,
It doesn't give me
you can
hope
win a
as a
Super
Lions
Bowl.
No,
fan,
absolutely.
but we just have no hope in general. So,
2-0-1.
yeah,
climbing.
no, we're undefeated.
I think overall it's a good year for offensive rookies. I mean, all the receivers have pretty much that had hype have lived up to it. Marquise Brown, DK Metcalf. I mean, he was the last pick in the second round, which is crazy to think about.
Even A.J. Brown's been doing
A.J.
decent.
Brown has a couple catches, long ones, and Mecole Hardman with the Chiefs.
Yeah, who's the other rookie wide receiver for Baltimore? The big guy. Why can't I remember his name right now?
I don't know. Baltimore's kind of like a black hole of receiver. They're
Yeah.
all doing really well,
Oh,
but they don't have any huge names on there. But, I mean, you look at running backs, too. Josh Jacobs is, bad team. They haven't run the ball a ton because they're always playing from behind. Montgomery from the Bears, he's been productive in the time he's played.
Hasn't
hasn't got enough carries. Totally.
It blows him and Cohen.
Right. Singletary from the Bills was looking solid. He got hurt, but there's a lot of offensive rookie talent. I think where we don't see in the rookie class, and you can kind of group the fall into the defensive part of the rookie class, where there was high hopes for like Devin White, hasn't done much in Tampa. I don't even know if he's healthy, but you don't see his name too often.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams in New York, a lot of those big early guys, Bosa. I mean, you just don't see a ton of names filling the stat sheet with those rookies. The one guy that is doing extremely well is Josh Allen, to nobody's surprise, in Jacksonville. He was kind of the most complete defensive player coming out in the draft. But, yeah, I think it's the year of the offense for the rookies. Totally.
I agree. Into the falling stock now. Obviously,
just
3 jerseys on a clearance rack in one season.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
it's tough for Antonio Brown. It's too bad to see because he clearly still has a lot of talent. And the one game he played with New England, I mean, granted, it was against Miami. He made it look easy. I mean, New England's the far away favorite with or without him. But, I mean, man, if they would have been able to keep him, that would have been a long year for everyone other than the Patriots.
I truly don't believe he'll play another game in the NFL.
I don't think he will.
No.
I think it's over.
No, it's done. He's burned every bridge. I mean, it's his outbursts, it's his antics. It doesn't matter like what he's under investigation for, which is what he was trying to highlight and everything, comparing himself like apples to apples with other guys. But
right.
he doesn't seem to understand that it's his outbursts and his antics towards teammates and coaches. Like, it's not even just the coaches or the GMs or anything. Like, he's publicly gone on record just thrashing guys like Big Ben, who was his quarterback for how many years. Like, for a player to start going after previous teammates, I mean, there's not going to be a team in the NFL that's going to want to touch that.
Not at all.
Do you think there's any team? Do you think anyone in desperation mode reaches out to him in 2-3 weeks?
I mean, I've heard on a couple radio shows that, I mean, granted, whatever, but 3 teams were interested in him until, like, the investigations, like, kind of proceeded. As far as, like, they're going to kind of let the dust settle, see if there's any, like, criminal charges on any of the stuff that has come about with him. But someone's going to be interested. I mean, it's kind of, usually it's the Raiders, but the Raiders have already been through it, and now it's a different leadership team.
Right.
So,
I think with him enrolling at CMU is kind of that writing on the wall there. I feel like a guy like that wouldn't.
You never know.
Get
I
your
feel like he
degree
wouldn't have done that if he didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, if
It's
there
hard to
was
say.
still a question mark of, like, maybe there is a team for him to play on, I don't think he would have enrolled. I mean, it's just that's my mindset
It's
on
all
it.
weird. I mean,
It's all
weird.
It's all some sort of PR move with him. Like, you never know what's going on in his head. But any other big falls that you were looking for? Big things out of the season that quite haven't. Come
Yeah,
to
I mean,
fruition?
if we're talking like memorabilia and stuff, a lot of your big name quarterbacks got hurt. I mean, not so much that they have fallen; it's just kind of by default. Big Ben, a big
Drew
autograph
Brees.
guy, Drew Brees. I mean, big names in the autograph industry have fallen. But it's good to see guys like Bridgewater and Rudolph get a chance because there's always opportunity for them.
Well, and I mean, I highlighted him earlier. I mean, you're seeing like Cam Newton, who isn't
Cam
doing
Newton's
anything
hurt,
special.
yeah.
Matt Ryan, really like what's going on with the Falcons?
Falcons have been canceled according to Barstool Sports.
Oh, totally.
I mean, they're off. I mean, they have such great offensive weapons, and they're just falling apart. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me at all.
That coach, I think that coach has been on the hot seat since the day they lost the Super Bowl. But I mean, it looks like he, was a year too late as far as they should have let him go last year. I hate to say it, but you got to be able to win with that kind of an offense.
Right.
And he's a defensive-minded coach, too, so it's like.
Right.
bro.
I'd also highlight another young quarterback who hasn't really been living up to the hype this year was Sam Darnold. I mean,
where is
now
he?
he's out with mono.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I know. It's
Mononucleosis.
even-
What a reason to go on the
even
IR.
before that, like, he wasn't doing anything big. Like, I think Jets fans had a little bit of hope. Like, they've always kind of had a defensive like model that
Right.
they've gone after, and with Le'Veon, like, it was a tough nose like running team, and Darnold that should have alleviated some of the pressure for him. And I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, that quarterback, that class was so loaded last year. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still very good, and there's so much time left. But Baker struggled this year. Rosen is like done basically.
How have we not highlighted Baker?
Baker.
Baker's done nothing
I don't blame
this year.
I don't blame anything on. I do. I mean, he's thrown bad interceptions too, but the play calling, the head coach, it seems like a mess.
Yes,
They're Cleveland's. I think they're a coaching staff change away from being a good team.
Right.
I think they're just the personnel. They relied on too much old personnel from the bad
Yeah,
time.
it was almost bad that they did well the second half of the last season because they kind of retained everybody. Where it would have been nice to see him with, because people would have been dying for that job.
The talent's there.
Right.
It's just
Right.
you need the play calling ability. You need the molding ability from your secondary coaches to be able to really bring that.
And
team
I think
to the next level.
ex-Browns coaches said that. They said that Freddie Kitchens, who was the QB coach to start the year, was kind of in the right place at the wrong time with the OC getting fired. He gets elevated to OC. Baker does well. And then kind of by default, they're like, well, let's keep this, chemistry going. But that limited the opportunity.
They had a good relationship. It just
exactly. A lot of good coaches, like the Packers coach. I mean, like a lot of offensive-minded coaches got jobs this year. It would have been kind of interesting to see who would have fell for that job or who would have left their current job to go coach the Browns since they were so stacked.
Packers and Bears have both proved the model that even the best coaching staffs with teams that make it to the Super Bowl, have good quarterbacks, have good talent, go stale.
Right.
Totally. I mean, the Packers
Absolutely.
and Bears both went to the NFC Championship in the same year.
Right.
And both of them, arguably, besides the Bears' revival last season, had basically a downward trend from that moment.
Totally.
From that season end, we're downward trending till now.
And we
Absolutely.
see it. I mean, pivoting to baseball, you see it with the Cubs and Joe Madden. I mean, same thing. I mean, he was on cloud 9 3 years ago. Best coach ever, and he's still a great coach, but he's
most likely
gone.
won't be here.
Yeah,
so there it is, the quarter one report. Even more fun. We're going to transition to our next segment. Our first interview with our exclusive.
Speaking of rising stock,
number 83. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, exclusive to Ultimate Autographs, did our first signing with him, and he was kind enough to sit down and chat with me and Adam for a few minutes at Titletown Brewing in Green Bay, Wisconsin. A lot of fun, a lot of big things coming next, so take a listen. We're live here at Titletown Brewery with the one, the only Marquez Valdes-Scantling, MVS. Welcome.
thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for having me out.
Really excited. Your first exclusive deal as an NFL receiver with us, Ultimate Autographs. We're really excited to work with you. I've known Max for a while, and
Max is his agent.
Max is his agent for everyone here, and we had a really good talk before the season. We were talking about doing the mini deal with you here, and we're excited for you. We're excited to be here in Green Bay. How's things been in the clubhouse? How's the vibe?
Yeah, I mean, things are great. We're 2-0 right now. Just the whole energy around, our place is just completely different. From the small things to the big things. We got, new pictures around, the locker room and in our meeting rooms and lunch rooms and weight rooms. And then, we got some new stuff going on at the stadium. The fans are super into it. Our first home game last week, the fans were just, phenomenal. A lot of stuff I heard them all year, even last year, my first time around. Just a different energy, and I like it.
That's awesome.
We took some notes here. We got to talk gaming, Twitch. You're a gamer. What are your go-to games in the off season when you got downtime? What's your go-to?
Yeah, I'm a big Call of Duty player. Okay. Fortnite, 2K, pretty much anything. I've been playing games my whole life.
What game got you into gaming?
Probably. I don't know. That's a tough one.
What was your childhood go-to? What do you remember playing as much as a kid?
I know I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto growing up. I played a lot of NFL Street, NBA Street. Def Jam, Fight for New York. And,
Nice.
Played some Madden growing up. Obviously NCAA when I got a little bit older. But growing up, definitely those games. Some Mario.
Sure.
Definitely played some Mario Kart.
What was the first system? PlayStation?
Nah, I had a
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
Oh,
All right, man.
Yeah, I think my dad bought a Dreamcast when I was super young. Had a Dreamcast, and then obviously Nintendo 64, and then to the PlayStation.
Nice.
That's a nice combo. So growing up in Florida, obviously you and Geronimo Allison kind of had similar paths, but didn't quite cross. How's it playing with another Florida guy, same age? Do you feel extra like that tandem? You guys will be able to create more synergy on the field with.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Geronimo for a while. We actually played each other in high school. We had a couple high school games against one another. He was from across the bridge.
That's what he said.
Yeah, about 30 minutes away. But I've known him for a while. But just being able to have somebody that you can relate to, from your same upbringing, a long way from home, be able to relate to and talk to. Geronimo's a great guy, great teammate, a great friend. And obviously he's been in the league a little bit longer than me, so I can always go to him and ask questions about different things and how to operate. But he's just a true professional. An example of what you want to be when you get into the NFL.
One thing we always like to ask the Green Bay guys is, what's it like living in this community? Because there's really nothing like it in any professional sports, being in the city of Green Bay. This isn't your Chicago. This isn't your New York. How do you like living in the community, a small community?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely small. A lot different from where I'm from. I'm from a big city where, there's big buildings and, a lot of people and everybody's moving fast paced. Then you come out to Green Bay and, it's super small. You can get through, TSA in 5 minutes or less. I could never do that where I'm from. But, it's great just to have that community support, all the time, packed out games every single week. The waiting list is, ridiculous to even get tickets to the game.
Totally.
So just to have that, constant support is huge. I never really had that, playing sports, especially where I'm from. There's so much going on. Down in Tampa where I play my college football at, that you're not going to have sold out games every single week. So having that that's just constant support is huge.
So what was that? Who was that guy for you growing up that really brought you to the game and wanted to let you know that you could make something out of football? You were, whether it's NFL, NBA. Who was that aspiring, that star that you?
Well, I mean, first off, it was my dad. So. He's the one that got me, involved in sports, and I always want to give credit to him, because if it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't be playing football. And then just growing up, I watched some Randy Moss. I got to train with him, all off season, so that was really cool to be able to work out with him. A guy that you idolized growing up and get some one-on-one training, for 5 weeks was great for me. And I also watched Larry Fitzgerald growing up. It's crazy that he's still playing now, but I wore number 11 in high school and in college, just because he was just a great player and most consistent receiver that you ever will come across. And so just having someone like that to consistently watch is someone that I definitely idolize as well.
That's pretty funny. Gmo said the same thing with Randy Moss.
Randy Moss, yeah.
It's interesting to see the new class of receiver. The age group where you're looking at guys. My school is Favre and things, and now it's Moss and transitioning into guys who are still playing. You're lucky to get the chance to line up against, well, not you personally, but line up against guys you grew up idolizing and watching, and it's unique. It kind of feeds your game. I gotta ask. Instagram. Your dog has an Instagram.
My dog definitely has an Instagram.
What kind of dog is it?
He's a Pomsky, so he's half husky, half Pomeranian.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So basically it's a mini husky. He's all white, about 30 pounds, little guy.
Nice.
But he's great.
I have 2 6-pound Pomeranians myself.
Nice.
One was my wife's in college. And the other was she got me I bought her a ring as an engagement present, and I got a puppy. So, but yeah, they're only 7 pounds apiece, so a little bit different. But yeah, no. My wife wanted to start the Instagram for the dog, and I can't. Not that I can't support it. It's a lot of work trying to promote myself on Instagram, and we're trying to grow here in the sports world. So
I got one last one for you before we let you go here. What was the moment for you that really hit you as I'm in the NFL? Was it maybe a place you played out on the road? A hit you took in practice, a coach that got after you? What was the one where you're like, man, I'm here, I made it?
That's tough. I guess probably just walking to the locker room for the first time and seeing Aaron Rodgers sitting across from me.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
That's someone that I've loved watching play. Even before I got here, he was always one of my favorite quarterbacks. Just to think that he can do with the football is unmatched. And so just walking in and sitting down and him introducing himself to me was like, man, I'm sitting right in front of Aaron Rodgers. It's crazy. So I guess that was just one of the things that introduced me to the NFL.
Yeah, that would I would imagine would do it.
We don't break down the tape much in this podcast per se, but I gotta say the throw from Aaron Rodgers to you against the Bears.
Oh, we can't talk about it.
He's a Bears fan here, so we're gonna preface
that hurt me because I knew that what we had going on with you, and it was bittersweet. I saw you were the one that went up and got it. And I go, man, darn.
Obviously, you guys do the tape. Have you seen the angle that he threw that ball to you?
Yeah, for sure.
It was one of the most insane. I just going back to watching Favre and that was one of the most insane passes I've ever seen.
And I'm kind of numb to it because he does that all the time.
Yeah.
Just in practice, he's made far crazier throws in practice to guys, and so him doing that in the game, it was expected. It didn't even faze me. Everyone's freaking out about it, but I'm like, he's been doing this for a long time, and
makes it look effortless too.
Literally effortless.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That momentum swing, just last question for me going a little into that, how quick that just getting your offense going. It's amazing to see Aaron, does he really step in and captain that, take charge of the situation and really inspire you guys to you make the plays, make it happen in those situations where
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's, anything spectacular. He just wants to go out and win. And he does a great job of just, keeping guys level-headed and, he knows that he's going to make a play for you, so he wants the same in return. And I wouldn't say he says anything super spectacular or movie quote type things. But we all know what he can do because he's not really a vocal leader per se. He's more of I'm going to go out here and throw every pass I need to throw to win this game, and that's all you need.
Right.
It's the mustache. That's
yeah.
You guys channel each other. It all works. But no, we don't want to keep you too much longer. Obviously, MVS working with Ultimate Autographs we'll call you. You're going to be our first recurring guest. We hope to have you back on the podcast later this season. And man, can't thank you enough for
good luck going forward. We appreciate your time, man.
Definitely.
Take care, man. Thanks.